Hello friends, today we see Unit First. Unit First is Introduction to Microcontroller Architecture. In Unit First, Chapter First is Introduction to Microcontroller. In Unit First, we see firstly objectives. In objective, first objective is to understanding the basic concept of microcontroller. Basic concepts of microcontroller. This is nothing but the first objective to understanding the basic concept of microcontroller. And second one is the basic difference between the microprocessor and microcontroller. In that we see the size of microprocessor and microcontroller. This difference is on the basis of logic families, speed, cost, accuracy. These points are covering difference between the microprocessor and microcontroller. Then third one is role of embedded system in microcontroller. This is nothing but the third objective. Role of embedded system in microcontroller. Then fourth one is the limitation of microcontroller. Limitation of microcontroller. In that we see what are the limitations in microcontroller, advantages, disadvantages of microcontroller and microprocessor. And then last objective is architecture of microcontroller. Architecture of microcontroller. These are the objective of unit first. Then we see introduction to microprocessor. Introduction to microprocessor. In that first we see microprocessor. The microprocessor it is a single chip that can perform multifunction. It is a reprogrammable multifunction logic device. This is nothing but the microprocessor. That means microprocessor it is a reprogrammable multifunction logic device. And microcontroller it is a program once. That means it program once. That means it programming once and it should also provide multifunction. That means the basic difference in microprocessor and microcontroller is microprocessor is a reprogrammable multifunctional logic device and microcontroller it is a program once but multifunctions are provided. It can perform multifunctions. And now in microprocessor can support logic 1 and 0. Microprocessor it supports logic 1 and 0. And then it also supports the operation of bit, byte, nibble. That means it can also support the bit. And then it can also support the group of 4 bit, then it can also support group of 8 bit, then it can also support group of 16 bit. That means microcontroller can support the operation of bits, that means 0 and 1, and then it can also support group of 4 bits, that means it is a group of 4 bits. It is nothing but the lower nibble. It called as the lower nibble. Then it can also support the group of 8 bits. It is nothing but the word. Then it can also support group of 16 bits, that means double word. It can also support group of 32 bits, that means microprocessor can support the operation of bit. Then it can also support the operation of lower nibble. Lower nibble is nothing but the group of 4 bits. Then it can also support group of 8 bits, that means word. Then it also support group of 16 bits, double word, and group of 32 bits. There are multiple combination of bit, 4 bit, 16 bit, 32 bit. These different operations can perform by microprocessor. That means microprocessor can support different structure of bit or different combination of bit. Then it increases the CPU time. That means the CPU time is increased. This is nothing but the disadvantages. CPU time then increases. Why the CPU time is getting increases? Because the microprocessor are work together to different structure of bit by, that means nibble, lower nibble. Then CPU time is get increasing. This performed by microprocessor. And microprocessor, it is a single chip computer. Microprocessor or microcomputer. Microprocessor or microcomputer, it is a single chip computer. Microprocessor or CPU. We see block diagram of microprocessor. In that block diagram, firstly we see each device can perform basic 3 functions. That means every device can perform 3 functions. That means accept the data. That means every device can accept data or accepting the information. Then second one, processing the data or processing the information. And third one is to display or store the information. That means each device can perform 3 basic functions. First function is accept the data. Second one is process the data. And third one is to display or store the data. This work can perform by each device. Then we see block diagram of microprocessor. See the block diagram. This block diagram is microprocessor. In microprocessor we see control unit, ALU, power supply, memory, output devices, input devices. In CPU we see control unit and arithmetic logic unit. Firstly we see one by one block. We see input devices. The input devices, the work of input devices or function of input devices, it can accept the data or it can accept the information from different sensors, transducers, and this information, it may be analog or digital or continuous or discontinuous. Then input devices accepting the information from input devices and converted it into digital format. It can convert it into digital format. The input devices, it may be keyboard, mouse, joystick, scanner. These are the example of input devices. That means the basic function of input devices is it can accept the data or accepting the information from different sensors and transducers. It is in analog form. Their input devices converted it into digital format. This work can perform by input devices. Then we see the output devices. Firstly, we see CPU. CPU, it is nothing but the central processing unit. It is a brain of computer system. That means CPU or microprocessor, it is a brain of computer system. It can accept the information from input devices or accept the data from input devices. And CPU can process the data and taking the decision. That means it take the decision to require condition. That means it taking the decision to require condition, and this data can be stored or displayed by the output devices. This work can perform by CPU. In CPU, we see control unit. The control unit generate the control signal. That means control unit are generating the control signal for synchronizing all the activity of system component. That means all system component activity should be synchronized by control unit. That means control unit should generate the control signal. These are the important unit in CPU. And then we see ALU. ALU is arithmetic and logic unit. This can perform arithmetic as well as logical operation. In arithmetic operation, that means addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. This is nothing but the arithmetic operation. And in logical operation means ORing, XORing, ANDing. These are the logical operations. This arithmetic and logical operation can perform by ALU. In CPU, there is a control unit and arithmetic logic unit, and it is a brain of computer system. And the basic function can perform by CPU is to fetch the instruction. That means fetching the instruction from memory, then process decoding this instruction. Before fetching, this accepting the instruction from memory, then fetching the instruction, then decode this instruction, and then execute the instruction. This work can perform by CPU. Then ALU perform arithmetic and logic unit, and control unit should generate control signal. This performed by CPU. Then we see output devices. Output devices can display the data. Can display the data in the format of visual, graphic, audio. The example of output devices is LED, LCD screen, means liquid crystal display. त्यानंतर CRT. These are the example of output devices. Output devices can display the data. This work can perform by output devices. Then power supply, where we give the power to this unit. Then we see memory. Every work of CPU can perform together memory. There are two types of memory available. First memory is primary memory, and mostly CPU uses primary memory. Primary memory is RAM and secondary memory is ROM. Then we see memory. This memory, every operation of CPU can perform with memory. That means CPU can or processor, microprocessor can accept the data or information that can process the data or taking the decision. It can store in memory or display the data. When it can store in memory, the data should be stored in primary memory. That means microprocessor uses mostly primary memory. Primary memory is random access memory (RAM), and secondary memory is ROM read-only memory, erasable programmable read-only memory, erasable read-only memory, sequential erasable programmable read-only memory. These are the example of memory. Every instruction that can important instruction that are required for execution or taking the decision at the time of execution. These instructions should be emergency. These instructions are stored in memory and data should get stored in memory. This is nothing but work together in memory. Then we see buses. Next point we see buses in microprocessors. There are group of wire are used. The group of wire are used together to connect the different system components. But in microprocessor we use buses. There are three types of buses. First is data bus. Second one is address bus. And third one is control bus. In buses, microprocessor, there are three types of buses are available. First is data bus, second is address bus, and third is control bus. In data bus, the function of data bus, it is used to transfer the digital data from input devices to CPU or peripheral. That means the data bus can transferring the data from input devices. Transferring the data from input devices to CPU or peripheral. The data bus are used to transfer the data, transferring the digital data from input devices to CPU or peripheral. This work can perform by data bus. The width of data bus can also determined by the data processing capability of CPU. That means the width of data bus will also determined by the data processing capability of CPU, or size of data bus will also determined by the speed size of data processing capability of CPU. And the data bus, it may be 4-bit. The data bus, it may be 4-bit, 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, 64-bit. These type of data buses are available. That means the 4-bit data bus, 8-bit data bus, 16-bit data bus, 32-bit data bus, and 64-bit data bus. These type of data buses are available, and the width of data bus should also determined by the data processing capability of ELE. Then we see second bus. Second is the address bus. Address bus. The address bus, it is used for finding the location of stored data. That means it is used for finding the location of address stored data. That means address bus it is used to find location of stored data. That means the location should be find out by address bus, and it also finding the address of physical memory. For memory, physical memory space should also determined by the address bus. That means the physical memory space also determined by the address bus. And it also describes the addressing capability. These work can perform by address bus. Then we see third bus is control bus. The address bus it may be 16-bit, 32-bit, 64-bit. That means 16-bit address bus, 32-bit address bus, and 64-bit address bus. These address buses are available. Then we see third type. This is a control bus. Control bus. The control bus it can generate the control signal to synchronize the all activity of system component. That means control bus can generate the control signal to synchronizing all activity of system component. These control bus are used. The control bus it can handshake between the all the devices. Control bus are a handshake between the all the devices or all the signal. In signal we see read write signal, timing signal, read write signal, timing signal and read write signal. That means control bus are handshake between the signal, and these signal are timing signal and read write signal. Then we see microcontroller. Type of microcontroller. The microprocessor it is a single chip computer. In that processor, in microprocessor it is a single chip computer. In that processor, IO devices, memory are included. In microprocessor it is a single chip device. In that memory, IO devices, processor. Then we see microcontroller. There are three types of microcontroller: 8-bit, 16-bit microcontroller, 8-bit microcontroller, and 32-bit microcontroller. We see microcontroller. Three types of microcontroller are available: 8-bit microcontroller, 16-bit microcontroller, and 32-bit microcontroller. Firstly, we see 8-bit microcontroller. We see 8-bit microcontroller. In 8-bit microcontroller, the data bus width is 8-bit microcontroller data bus width is 8-bit. That means bus width means data processing capability of microcontroller. Data processing capability of microcontroller, and bus width is 8-bit. And the example of 8-bit microcontroller is Intel 8051, PIC 16, Zilog 8. These are the example of 8-bit microcontroller. And 1 byte of data is transferred in 1 cycle. That means 1 byte of data is transferred in 1 cycle. And these are used for low-end application, and it is a interface between the low and high performance microcontroller. That means the 8-bit microcontroller are interface between low and high performance microcontroller. And in that important point is 1 byte of data is transferred in 1 cycle. And example is Intel 8051, PIC16, Zilog 8. Then we see 16-bit microcontroller. We see 16-bit microcontroller. In 16-bit microcontroller, we see 16-bit microcontroller. In 16-bit microcontroller, the data bus width is 16-bit. The data bus width means data processing capability. Data processing capability of ALU is nothing but the data bus width. In 16-bit microcontroller, data bus width is 16-bit, and it is used for high-end application. That means 16-bit microcontroller is used for high-end application, and it can support high-level language programming. That means the 16-bit microcontroller is used for high-level language programming. And this 16-bit microcontroller is using pulse width modulation for controlling the speed of DC motor. Then it having high precision as compared to 8-bit microcontroller. And the example of 16-bit microcontroller is MCS 81. Then we see 32-bit microcontroller. In 32-bit microcontroller, the data bus width is 32-bit. The data bus width means data processing capability of ALU. Here, 32-bit microcontroller data bus width is 32-bit, and it is used for high-end application. Similar to 16-bit microcontroller, the 32-bit microcontroller is used for high-end application, and it can support high-level language programming, that is used in supervisory programming. That means it is used in high-level language programming.